And we are live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. Right, I just need to set the phone up. Bear with me, set the timer on, and off we go. Yes, right. Hi everybody. Hello everybody. Hi. Yes, right. Good. Let's turn the heater off. It's going to get cold in here, but let's turn the heater off so that it's a little less noisy. It's Thanksgiving, so if anybody is watching from America, happy Thanksgiving. Because it's Thanksgiving, despite the late time here in the UK, which is kind of a good time for the people in America who view this, they may not be watching. So that's life. If you are watching, great. Let us start. Roll the foot, heel and toe. If you are super observant, you will see that I'm wearing different shoes to the ones I normally wear. These have extra super sticky soles. They're actually outdoor shoes. I don't normally wear them in the studio, but I want to do some exercises later where these will be beneficial. And switch to the other foot, rolling toe and heel. Whoops. Let's just come in a bit. There we go. Did I mention we haven't got a back camera? So if you look down in the... Well, if you're looking at the screen as I'm looking at the screen, what would be the bottom left? Bottom left. We haven't got a back camera. So my apologies for that. It was... The software just didn't want to register it tonight. I have no idea why. Okay, now just very simply coming up on the toes and just going back down again. Keep going. I just want to alter the screen slightly. There we go. That just lets me up on the toes, down. That lets me just confirm that the radio mic is working. Okay, feet slightly wider. Circle the hips. It is unlikely, not impossible, of course, but it is unlikely that anybody is joining in with me live who's just got up. It's more likely that anybody that's joining in with me, it's either nighttime, change direction, it's either nighttime or, let me think, well, afternoon time. I suppose it could be a bit earlier than that, but it's not early. So I'm going to assume that we are all fairly limber from having a day under our belt or half a day under our belt. So I'm going to modify what I do slightly so that I can do a little bit more stretching with you. Okay, bring the feet in small circles with the upper body. Breathing in and out through the nose if you can, if it's comfortable. Well, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. It is exercise after all, but you don't want to be forcing your body to do things it doesn't want to do. Change direction. I could have phrased that better. Let's be honest. What your body wants to do is sit on the couch eating cake. I know that's what mine wants to do. It's not gonna, but that's what it wants. Yum yum, cake. And circle the shoulders. You can let the legs relax, sitting backwards slightly and downwards slightly. Rotate the shoulders. Doesn't have to be fast. You do want it to be through as full a range of motion as possible. I was out driving today and I saw a lady pushing herself along the road in a wheelchair, you know, what I call an old-fashioned, non-motorised wheelchair. And she was on a slight incline, so it was quite hard work for her, and she had her shopping on the back of the wheelchair. But what was interesting was she was really pushing the wheels around, and her shoulders were really going through an excellent range of motion. I thought to myself, I wouldn't have wanted to arm wrestle her. I suspect her arm and shoulder strength was quite impressive. Opposite directions with each shoulder if you can. If not, just choose a direction and rotate your shoulders in that direction. I'm not one for political correctness, but some years ago, oh, let me just wait for it to ding. Oh. And change direction. I came across the term differently abled instead of disabled. And I must say, often, that is very much the case. People with what we might think of as limitations in one or more domains often do excel in other domains. And arms out, small circles. The reason I'm not madly keen on the sort of the renaming of things is because I would absolutely define myself as somebody whose both sight and hearing are limited, and that doesn't bother me at all. If you want to call me a deaf old so-and-so, or as blind as a bat, I'm not either of those exactly, but I'm not going to get upset about it. Other direction. I guess I'm just a very placid sort of fella. Except when I lose my temper, and then I'm a monster. But there we go. We won't talk about what Robert is like when he does his Incredible Hulk impersonation. Without the green and big and strong. But you know what I mean. Big circles forwards. It's nearly the weekend. Well, it's Thursday, so soon be there. Other direction. And for once this weekend, I have only a minimal amount of work to do. Well, as things stand at the moment, which is good. Don't worry about the arms. I know we normally coordinate arms and legs, but just raise the knee in front. Check that you've got space to the side and space behind and space in front. You will see why here, because we're going to do leg raises. And again, I know sometimes we do this with the hands as well, but I just want to focus on the legs. Whatever height you are comfortable raising the leg to, up to, is the correct height. It can be there or it can be there. Doesn't matter. Whatever feels comfortable. Now, out to the side. Nice and gentle. Whatever height works for you. and backwards. Whoops, lost my balance there. Trying to keep the legs straight. It's very tempting to bend the knee. We want to just keep the legs straight and just working all the muscles, hips and, oh, I don't know, muscles, lots of them, all have names. Fred and Jill and Gladys and Peter. I don't suppose muscles really have names like that. Feet together, circle the hips. Gently, gently with this exercise. Change direction. Okay, that's the exercise bit. The majority of what I'm going to do in this session is going to be stretching, and it's going to be a pretty mixed bag, I think. I haven't planned it out, it'll just be see what happens. First is take the feet comfortably apart, take one foot at sort of 90 degrees, slightly less than 90 degrees, and just stretch. Make sure if you look down, you can still see your toes. If you're too far forward like that and you can't see your toes, you're putting too much strain on the knee. Stay there for a minute. I'm going to stop the timer. The reason I'm going to stop the timer, and I'm going to come back to this stretch, the reason I'm going to stop the timer is not always, I do occasionally do stretching with the timer on, but I far prefer to relax and just stretch for a second or a week. I don't really do either of those, but you know what I mean. For as long as I want to in any particular way. Bring the weight back, turn that foot, so you're now just stretching, and you adjust it so you're stretching. Knee and foot in the same direction. You don't want the knee turned in, you don't want the knee turned out. Gentle stretch. Change to the other side. You can go a little bit deeper if you can. Gentle stretch. Change sides, gentle stretch. Now, bring the feet in a little. Oh, by the way, the shoes do have little flaps on them that stick up and they make the shoes look a bit odd, but that's just how they are. What we're going to do now is just gently go side to side. And now we're going to do a 4-move stretch. You may want to change the position of your feet. It's 1, going forwards. 2, coming back. 3, you turn, so you're now stretching forwards. 4, you come back. Turn, stretch forwards. Come back. Turn. So it's here that's being stretched. Come back. You can make the feet a bit wider, stretch, come back. You can also turn into it and then come back. There's variations. You've just got to find what lets you stretch all the muscles that you want to stretch, which are all the ones in the under part of the leg. And gentle stretching. We're not trying to tear muscles. We're not trying to do ourselves any harm. Just gentle stretching. Good. Come up. Put your weight on one leg, the other toe raises. Put your hands above the knee gently. Take your chin towards the toes, or your toes towards the chin, nice and gentle. Gently, slowly come up. Take your weight into the other leg. Raise the toes. Take your chin towards the other toes. Well, not the other toes, those toes. No, not those toes, because those toes are my toes, your toes. And straighten up. Circle the hips nice and gently. Other direction. PNF stretching, Proprio Facilitator, I think it stands for. It probably stands for something completely different. It does stand for, I hope my trousers will allow this, because otherwise it's going to be somewhat embarrassing. So, feet wide as you comfortably can. At this stage, they're just comfortable. Then what I'm going to do, without moving my feet, I'm going to tense the muscles on the inside and my buttocks, bum muscles, as if I wanted to pull the feet in. So I'm trying to pull the feet together, but the fact that they are firmly on the floor stops me doing that. So I pull, and you can clench your arms, you can clench every muscle you got, but the idea is you're really trying to pull, and you really give it some welly, give it power, and then you relax, and you should find you can move out a little bit. And you stay there for a moment, or two, or three, and then you do the same thing again. You try and pull the legs in without them actually moving. So you're really working those muscles quite hard. And then you relax, and you may find that the feet will go out a little bit further. We'll do it one more time. Pull in. And it may be, by the way, that it's very small increments, or it may be quite large ones. There's lots of variables at play here. Pulling in, tightening all the muscles, and then relaxing and letting the legs stretch out. And then wind yourself back in. Circle the hips, nice and gently. Nice and simple. Hands on hips, push the hips forwards, let the head go back. Gentle stretch, hold it there. Straighten up, go to one side, gentle stretch, hold it there. Straighten up, bend forward. Just let the weight of the upper body take it forward and hold it there. Now to come out of this, put your hands just above your knees, bend your knees a little and use your arms to assist you getting upright. Just takes the pressure off the small of the back. And then we go to the other side. Not a huge surprise, I suspect. You'd probably figured that was going to come next. Gently straighten up, push the hips forward, lean back. You may find you can lean back a little further. If you can, great. If you can't, don't worry. That's absolutely fine. Gently straighten up. Go to one side. Gently, slowly straighten up. Let the weight of your body go forward. Bend the knees, put the hands just above the knees, push with the arms, help yourself to straighten up, and go to what we will call the other side. Not the dark side. I mean, we're not going to go into the old Jedi versus Sith thing. And gently straighten up. Am I allowed to admit I really enjoyed the first 3 Star Wars movies overall? I mean, they weren't great, but I enjoyed them. But the other ones, I don't even know if I've seen them all. They're like, nah, can't be bothered. Right. Anyway, what's that got to do with anything? Let us sit down. Let us meaning you and me. Well, I've already sat down. Let's hope it's you as well. Put the soles of your feet together. And you may find that your knees are up here somewhere or your knees may be down here somewhere. It just depends how flexible your hips are in this domain, in this direction. I'm pulling my feet in a bit and I'm just letting my knees relax and I'm pulling in a bit more. And also I'm trying to sit upright. I'm just going to relax, especially relaxing the muscles that are tight, the sort of into the inguinal crease, I guess, and just pulling in a bit more and relaxing, thinking about the possibility of my knees relaxing down, the muscles releasing and relaxing. I like that phrase. If you've done stretching with me before, you'll know the phrase relax and release is a mantra that I try and have running through my head when I'm stretching, to say to the muscles exactly that, relax and release. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I can do it because I haven't done it for a while. Try and cross one foot over the other and then the other foot over. See if you can do that. If you can't, don't worry. If you can, that's great. It's a nice little sort of seated, relaxing, meditative stretch. Just as a thing to see, to play with. One foot inside the other. Grab above the knee, below the knee, the ankle, the foot, whatever is comfortable. Try to keep the back fairly straight and try not to bend forward. So it may help you if you look sort of forward in a level direction. Stretching what you might term the underside of the leg, stretching across the buttocks, stretching the lower back. There's actually stretching the upper back as well. There's a lot of stretching going on. It's also getting quite cold in my studio here. There's quite a bit of freezing going on, but we will persevere. It's not so cold that it's a risk to the stretching, because obviously when you are really cold, you shouldn't stretch. You should warm up first or just leave the stretching till you're indoors and it's a bit warmer. And gently release one leg. tuck the other leg in, grab above the knee or below the knee or the ankle or the foot, and just gently pull back on the toes, pulling the body forward, pushing the heel forward as well ever so slightly to make sure the leg stays straight. And just gently stretch. This is mildly uncomfortable, no more than that. It's not painful. I think I've talked about this before. You don't want to tear the muscles. You want the muscles to relax and grow, relax and release. And I think I've also said I'm not an exercise physiologist or whatever the scientific expert would be. So by all means, check on what I say. And if you can find better methods than I know, please leave a comment, leave a note. I'm always, always, always happy to learn. Relax. Both feet out in front, about hip width apart. Grab I need to do stretching for my mouth. Grab either above the knees, below the knees, the ankles or the feet and pull forwards. Now here I am going to look down slightly because I want to concentrate now on bending the back, the lower part of the back, letting it relax and release and come forward. I'm going to take my hands to the sides of the feet. You can take them on the outside or you can take them on the inside, whatever works for you. Just trying to get the body to fold downwards. And relax. Sorry, I should have relaxed much more gently than that. There was a little bit of a quick release there, and you don't want to do quick releases. You want to do slow release. Feet out. Cover my ankles. Don't want my ankles getting cold. Hands on the ground, if you can. Obviously, if you can't, put them on the ground behind you and push forward. But if you can, hands on the ground in front of you. See if you can creep the fingers forwards a bit. And then hold that. And relax. And then see if you can go forward a little bit more. And creep the fingers forwards. Or creep the forwards fingers, whichever you prefer. But I'm going to creep my fingers forwards. And then I relax down a bit more and I find, yeah, I've got a bit more maneuverability. So the fingers go forwards. And then I imagine that the palms are stuck to the floor. So it's an anchor point that means I can't go backwards. I can only relax, release, go forwards. And the more you do this, the longer it will take between going forward. So here I go a little bit forward and I'm probably going to stay here a bit longer than I stayed in the last position because there's more pressure on the muscles. It's just taking me a little bit longer to get them to relax and release. But I'll take as long as it takes. And I'll go forward a bit more. And gently come up. Okay, bring the feet in, give them a shake, a wiggle and a waggle and a woggle, and come over so you're on hands and knees and push the head up. Sorry, we are plagued in here by teeny tiny little flies, which I don't like killing, but they have a nasty habit of flying up your nose, the little beggars. So, head up, spine concave, if you were looking at it from the side, I think, and then that's convex, or is that convex? Whichever way it is, but basically rounding the back one way and then rounding it the other. And as I think I've said multiple times before, I'm the first to admit that I'm pretty rubbish at this particular stretch. But that's all the more reason for persevering. And no, persevering... Oh, by the way, get up really slowly, take your time. Persevering isn't Mr. and Mrs. Veering's son, Percy. The humour doesn't improve. Circle slowly the hips, nice and gently. Other direction. Give yourself a little shake out. It may be a minute or two less or more than a half an hour, I'm not sure. It's 9 o'clock at night now. I'm going to be lazy and probably watch some television for half an hour or so. It's an exciting life. Or I might even have a couple of biscuits with my cup of tea. Thank you very much for watching and joining in. I hope you enjoyed it. There will be another session tomorrow if the fates allow, and I hope you will come and play. Thanks a lot. Bye.